the highest leverage thing you can do as a business owner is to sell to that person again. You don't have to market, you don't have to do any ads. You can just...
You had one piece of advice for a local service business looking to set up their email marketing tomorrow. What would it be?
I would...
So what I really wanted to talk about in this absolute belter of an environment is, so I do a lot of lead generation for local businesses, and since you own, it's Bulldog Mailing, right?
Bulldog Mailing, yeah.
Bulldog Mailing, you've got an expertise in
CRM,
email,
CRM, yeah.
Yeah,
Direct response marketing.
Do you think there's any value in local service businesses that are generating leads on a regular basis? Is there any value in them actually really investing in an email marketing strategy?
For sure, because I think for any business, whether you generate 100 grand in revenue to 100 million in revenue, one of the most valuable things you can have is an email list, because it's a database, it's yours, it's an owned channel. It can't be taken away from you, like a Facebook page or an ad account or an Instagram page can be taken away. It will always be yours, whether you're on MailChimp, you're on Klaviyo, wherever platform.
Yeah.
And it has a very low cost of sending an email versus obviously advertising stuff. So with them combined, obviously you've always got to do top of funnel marketing with your ads.
Yeah.
But when you combine your ads and your email as a channel, it can obviously make you more profitable, because let's just say you take somebody, in a service-based business, they may buy a kitchen from you, or they may buy scaffolding, anything in the home, or anything that you sell to your customers in terms of advertising. You've sold them once through ads and they've come through in the funnel. To sell to that person again, you don't have to market, you don't have to do any ads. You can just send them an email and they'll convert.
Yeah.
So the ROI on that is huge. There's no cost per acquisition. So the ROI of your email list is very high.
Yeah, and I think I agree. I've worked with several businesses, more so in the e-commerce space, but I work with one that's a mortgage broker.
Yeah.
And he has a CRM set up. As soon as a lead comes in, they get hit with 2 SMS messages and 3 emails.
Yeah.
So, there are businesses, local service businesses out there doing this stuff day in, day out. And I think without it, you're literally not making the most of your ad spend.
Yeah.
You're literally hemorrhaging your ad spend.
That's right.
And, to bring these people in, sometimes it's not that cheap.
No, it's not. It's like, for it to use an analogy, it's like you've got a bucket and there's a hole in the bucket. Email can just be the little plug that stops money from leaking out. It's a very simple analogy. And
you talk a lot about local service businesses building a list, right? What's the biggest bottleneck for local service businesses actually building this list? How do they do it?
I'd imagine the biggest bottleneck is they don't know how to.
Yeah.
They don't actually know how you can build a list. So very simply, every time you go and do a quote to somebody at somebody's house, you can take their email address and ask them, do you mind if we opt you into our email list, for example? That's one example. If you have a website, you could be collecting emails on a pop-up. On your contact form, they will go into your database straight away. That's a CRM.
So people understand, what do you mean by a pop-up?
So essentially, if you go onto a website and let's just say Marks and Spencer's and you're shopping, or your wife's shopping, there will be something that pops up on the screen, right? You know where it is.
Yeah.
Something that pops up on your screen and it's like, take 10% off your first order. That is a pop-up. If you opt into that, you will be enrolled into receiving marketing messages from a business. Usually that follows with an automated flow, like a drip sequence that the business would set up, and it would give you your welcome offer.
Yeah.
It would give you a lot of educational emails about the brand and business.
Yeah.
Testimonials, etc. So that is essentially, in a nutshell, that's a pop-up.
And would you say a pop-up is probably, in this day and age, one of the most simplest, straightforward ways to actually collect email addresses?
Yeah, I would say that's the most effective way of list building, yeah.
And a lot of people in the local service space, they might have a brick and mortar store, they might not have, some construction businesses that I've worked with, they don't have websites. what would you suggest for those guys to actually go and start building a list? Because I know it's a little bit more tricky.
Yeah. So that's a very good question. So if somebody doesn't have a website, obviously you can't use a pop-up, you can't use a contact form. In a nutshell, you'd have to just be canvassing, right? You'd have to, when you're going out and you're seeing clients or you're seeing customers, you're literally just taking emails from people. You're putting it in a HubSpot, like a free HubSpot. You're putting it in any CRM that you can use. You can put it in a Google Sheet, literally, like in its very simplest of forms. Like back in the day, like 20 years ago, when this wasn't available to people, people used to go to trade shows and just write people's email addresses down,
Yeah.
and that's all they do. So that you could use pen and paper.
I think one of the best examples I've seen of this is when you go to a restaurant.
Yeah.
When you go to a restaurant and the meal comes at the end and they offer you, a little card and it says, give me your email address,
Yeah,
give us
yeah.
a review, and we'll give you 10% off
Yeah,
or
yeah.
15% off your next meal.
Yeah.
Like, that is such a good way, one, to get repeat customers, and two, to actually build your email list
Yeah.
as well, isn't it? So,
Well, if you think about it now, even retail stores are doing it. Like I went shopping at Reese recently, and
yeah,
to forego giving me a receipt, they asked for my email address, and that opts me in to receive their marketing emails. So, if you think of a brick and mortar store, traditionally they wouldn't be bothered about email, but
Yeah.
they know the power of it now.
yeah.
It's. I think staying front of mind with your customers, you have to send emails.
And do you think these local service-based businesses, do you think they're doing enough to go and actually ask for these emails?
They're probably not. I don't think enough businesses are doing enough. I encounter that every day when I speak to brands. They don't understand the power of email, and I don't think you do fully understand the power of email until you start doing it properly.
Yeah.
So many people underutilize. So many people don't send enough emails. They don't collect enough emails. So for anybody out there that's on the fence and they've been thinking about it, one of the highest ROI things you can do as a business owner is having an email list and just send to your customers at least once a week, depending on the industry you're in. It can provide you, it can provide you leads, it can provide you sales. It's just another form. It probably takes you 10 minutes to send an email. It's just a huge ROI thing for you to do.
And yeah, I think that's great, really good ROI. And I think one of the major questions a lot of local businesses have is, what's the cost of setting it up?
For them to do it or for a business to do it for them?
Let's just go for the local service business to go and set it up.
So to set it up themselves, there would only be one monthly fee for an ESP.
And is that the cost of the email platform?
That's the cost of email platform, but you get a certain amount of sends for that as well.
Yep.
So the cost of the platform will be determined by how many contacts you have. So a lot of ESP providers, so email service provider and platforms like your MailChimps, you've probably heard of MailChimps.
Yeah.
MailChimp out there. They will give you a certain number of contacts for free.
Yep.
So usually it's like between 250 to 500 contacts.
Yep.
So if you have below that number, emails will be free basically for the month.
Yep.
If you have over that, then it's tiered based upon like 500 to 1,000, 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000, etc., etc. So I think there's obviously platforms out there that are cheaper than others, but I think MailChimp's the middle of the road in terms of UX, user experience, and cost. So I think you can start from like $15 per month.
Yeah.
So if you've got a list size of 2,000, it's about $15 a month. So
quite affordable for most small
local like if you've got a
businesses
list of 2,000 people, they would more than enough to justify $15 a month.
Yeah.
Because you're sending to 2,000 potential customers.
I think the cost, yes, they're relatively cheap, but I think you've got to remember there's an element of time and resource that does go into this stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you have to dedicate some time to get things up and running. You have to look at, like we've talked about here. You have to look at setting a pop-up up.
Yeah.
You have to look at the setup of your email flows if you need them.
Yeah.
Then your email campaigns. If you're going to design them, the copy for it, scheduling and segmentation, all takes a little bit of time to work out. But in its simplest form, if you just wanted to send a campaign out once a week and you forgot about the pop-up, forgot about flows, it is very high leverage just to send an email out and not worry about design, just plain text maybe.
Yeah, and plain text still works.
Yeah, plain text is, in my opinion, that the highest leverage thing you can do as a business owner is send a plain text email from yourself.
And just to clarify, plain text email is an email that doesn't have any fancy images, pictures. It's just like a normal Outlook, Google Mail email, right?
Yeah.
It's just simple, it's straightforward, and it looks just like any other email.
100%, and you usually sign it off from the founder.
Yeah.
So it looks like, if I sent you an email today, it would look like Jack Cookson from Bulldog Mailing has sent you a one-to-one email.
Yeah.
But I know I've not sent you one. The customer does. So it seems more personal, it seems more relatable, and you'll get a lot more responses.
Right. No, that's brilliant. And if you had one piece of advice for a local service business looking to set up their email marketing tomorrow, what would it be?
I would, one, look at how many contacts you currently have.
Yep.
See what that cost is in MailChimp. And two, I would just send a campaign out. I would get something out there to remind your customers that you're there. You may not have communicated with them for 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
So in that time frame, depending on the business, that might be coming around to the time where they may need your work again, 4 to 5 years.
Yep.
I don't know what that kind of repeat customer purchase looks like.
Yeah.
But if I take an example from ecom that we work with, like ecom, if you've been dormant for 4 or 5 years, you need to maybe warm up the list.
Yeah.
So it takes some time, but you will see results over a short period of time if you start sending emails.
Okay.
So my one advice would be just start sending emails.
Just start. Yeah. I mean, it's the greatest challenge for most businesses, right? Just start doing it. And I think it's important, if you start, don't stop doing it.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you stop doing it, you don't get the traction, you don't get the benefit of, picking up more skills, more customers over time, essentially.
I think that's the struggle for any business owner. Having momentum is the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
Getting momentum is the hardest thing to do. And once you've got it, you can never stop, because then it takes so long to get it back up and running again. So, yeah, great point there, yeah.